And it was a crazy week. I think I didn't do a diary entry because it was a bit traumatizing. Alright, today is Wednesday, February the 3rd, 2021. So I'm coming in here today to talk about a piece of time between when we finished the spot until it aired. I didn't make a diary entry. I didn't talk about everything that happened then in that last week. So it was looking great. It was looking great. We're so happy, man. Whereas during the shoot, we had a few problems, with timings and creative disagreements with the director and with the clients, and stuff that always happens. It was very stressful. After that, everything went super smooth. The coloring session went great, editing went great, things chugged along very well. Everybody was happy with everything, and by the time we were done, about 1 week before the Super Bowl, was like, oh, this was a breeze. Everybody says, working on Super Bowls, like it's crazy up to the last minute. We've done it on time, it's looking great, and it's just gonna air 1 week from now. We were still finishing the spot. We heard the awful news that Kobe Bryant had died.
We're coming on the air with breaking news, very sad news to tell the sports world. The LA Times is reporting that retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash. It happened this morning.
And that was very, very sad news. He was an LA icon, right? And a great human being, amazing guy. And we were really, really sad that it happened. Everybody was kind of shocked. But I have to say that the first thing I thought was, oh man, he died in a helicopter crash, and we have a helicopter scene in our spot. I thought, that's crazy. So what, right? It's not gonna impact what we're doing here. So I didn't say anything. Nobody said anything either. So we're done. We were done. We finished everything. We were ready to ship. Eventually, we get a call from our creative director saying, look guys, here's the deal. They're thinking about pulling the spot. And we're like freaking out, Did we work so hard for the thing about not running this? And at that point, COVID was already in the news. It wasn't in the US yet. It already was, right? But we didn't know. So all the news about COVID was coming out of China. And images of people like in hazmat suits were already in the news. So when they called, I thought it's because of the hazmat guy, right? We had this guy in a hazmat suit. That must be the thing that's making them want to pull the spot. Like, no. Then they said, no, that's not it. They want to pull the spot because of the helicopter scene. Because they don't want to associate the brand with the painful news of Kobe Bryant having passed away. They're gonna pull the spot unless we find a solution for that, right? A lot of discussions can be had about, would it make a difference? Would anybody be offended if we left the helicopter scene there or not? Or were they doing that out of an abundance of caution? That discussion can be had. But the point is that at that time, that decision was made, and we had to do something about it. And that's why we no longer have a helicopter scene. We have a scene with an armored vehicle that used to be a helicopter. That last week was pretty crazy. We had 24 hours to change that whole helicopter scene. There were like a bunch of helicopters flying around, and we had to find a way to replace that, which we did. I have to say that our part as the agency, as the creatives, was important, but who really deserves the award here and the praise here is all VFX, because they pulled it off very, very well. It was very hard to tell that, you know, there used to be a helicopter there or that the scene got changed. We had to change the edit a little bit, so the edit wasn't as good as it was before. So that little change, you know, changing the helicopter and having to change the edit a little bit, made some key people in the production not want to have their names associated with the project anymore. Hard decisions need to be made when stuff like this happens, right? One thing I always say is that everything we create needs to be relevant not just to the product and to the audience, but relevant to the times we live in. And sometimes being relevant to the times means taking something out, removing something you like in your work, so you don't run the risk of associating your brand with a bad feeling or with a feeling of grief that people may be feeling at that moment. Yeah, that was crazy. When people say, you know, Super Bowl is always stressful up to the very end, it's probably true. And then we're super happy because it ran. I made sure I celebrated it because, as you know, in our industry, in this thing we do in creating things, most of the ideas we have end up in the trash. That's how it is. So when we get one made, when we get something sold and made, we have to celebrate it, man, every step of the way. Next episode, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the post-Super Bowl blues. That's going to be a good one.